Welcome out, ladies and gentlemen, to this RGL Highlander Season 18 Week 8 matchup between Dreamybull's Kitchen and the Hardworking Hornets. I am Zagron, joined by Rogue tonight, and then Dolphin behind the camera as always. So, Rogue, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm truthfully so delighted to have gotten this invite here to this match this evening, coming fresh and hot off the presses of LAN. This just in G6 are the ultimate rulers of the universe. So yeah, I'm super excited to catch some TF2, and Cascade is a map where it's like there's always something fun going on, so I'm super excited.
Yep, Koth Cascade is the map here tonight, and we are running a bit of an older version. I'm not sure exactly which version this is, but people who played it back when it was getting iterated on will recognize some of the features that are not present in the current version, so there is that to look forward to. And these two teams, both 5 and 2 right now, they're neck and neck in the standings, 5th place and 4th place. Only one of them can make that last playoff bubble slot, so this match likely going to have big implications for who's going to actually end up advancing the playoffs.
Yeah, that's something I think a little underappreciated about this 10-team season compared to the 8-team seasons of the past, where there's always that nail biter steal week, and I'm sure there will be again this time. Some teams making it by just a single point or something like that. But when you have these extra 2 weeks and these extra 2 match wins you can get under your belt, I think it'll do an even better job of drawing those lines between who deserves to be in playoffs versus who didn't quite make the cut. So, yeah, these teams, it all kind of comes down to this, especially now that you've been playing together for the better part of, almost 3 months, including the preseason. So, yeah, there's a lot of implications riding on this, but it almost like really solidifies that dividing line between who's playoff material and who's not.
Yeah, and in week 9, both of them are going to have matchups that, while Dreamybull Kitchens is a bit easier against Run It Back, Hardworking Hornets could potentially beat somebody help in that week 9 matchup. So a lot of Highlanders still to be played to determine who gets these seeds, but with a 4 match point gap in between them right now, keep in mind, the potential scores for a Koth map are, in terms of match points, are 9-0, 8-1, 7-2, and 6-3. With a 4 point gap right now, a 4-2 in favor of Dreambulls would catapult them over Hornets. Anything else, and Hornets maintain their lead going into the final week. So a lot of math to be done on that, but like I said, this match very important in the grand scheme of things.
And I know there's a lot of players here too that are, Koth extraordinaire. So we're looking at the side of, the Hardworking Hornets, and we see so many players that are super strong in a map like this. I mean, Yeet and Panther are very solid, I think, as the Scout Soldier combo. You're looking at players like Pickles and Ray on Engineer and Medic, who are very solid. And finally, Arbiter on Sniper is like, this guy can tear up any pug. So just put them on the Koth map and Arbiter's going to go nuts. Which maybe means I should probably just read down the whole roster itself, but I'm going to make you ask me for it, buddy.
Run down the roster.
Yes, mistress. So we got Yeet on Scout, Panther on Soldier, Cham on Pyro, Kira on Demo Man. What's up? We have AGB ringing on Heavy, Pickles playing Engineer, Ray on Medic, Arbiter on Sniper, like I mentioned, and Chlor on Spy for the Hardworking Hornets.
You should have seen the look on my face when you said that. But on the side of Dreamybull's Kitchen is going to be RJ, VNR on Scout, Applezoo on Soldier, Saris on Pyro, Crump on Demo Man, Deleted Taters on Heavy, Spaghetti Confetti on Engineer, Nines on Medic, Brian on Sniper, and Pupper on Spy. And talking about Dreamybull's Kitchen a little bit, we've seen both these teams on cast, I believe, once this season, maybe twice for Hornets, not sure, but we have seen them both. And I was very pleasantly surprised the time I saw Dreamybull's Kitchen. I believe it was Upward Week, and I think they played so much better than I expected them to. There was tons of work being done across the board. They just felt like a very complete team, despite me not really seeing many of these players at the top of Invite before.
Yeah, I've actually got to meet Crump over there at the RGL LAN, upstanding gentleman, but I know a lot of these players too, have like, some of them have been around for a while, and some of them have really worked their ways up the ranks, and it's almost like one of those, feel good kind of stories, I guess, when a team like sticks together, they get it, the wheels are really turning, everything starts clicking, and they have that it factor, so to speak. So I think I'm really excited to see a team like this, kind of hold their own in Invite here and be playoff contenders here with, this level of experience that they've shown so far. I also, if I'm remembering the right Brian, actually, I think this is not the right Brian. I take it back.
Oh, yeah, it's the wrong Brian.
Incorrect. Brian is a very good alias, but not this player's alias.
Sniper players and using their first names as their aliases. Name a more iconic duo, but
Shout Andrew, shout out Max. Shout out yeah, post some sniper
more.
names in the
There's a
chat if
couple
you
more.
got them. Yeah, plenty. Waterson is not quite that, but it's at least a name. Regardless, yeah, I'm excited to see these players, like especially on the Koth map, especially against some invite veterans. Like this is where you have to really put your money where your mouth is, so to speak. So yeah, let's see if they have what it takes to take the win here on Cascade.
Yeah, and you mentioned it feels good when a team can kind of like come up the invite standings and be playoff contenders. Well, they have a chance here to put themselves in the driving seat to not only being playoff contenders, but being playoff makers. You know, they can put themselves in a fantastic position to be top 4 in invite, and that's such a big achievement for teams coming up through the rankings for the first time you make playoffs. Everyone remembers their first playoff match in invite whenever they have it. Platinum back in the day was the same way. So yeah, a lot riding on this match for them. I do think their week 9 matchup against Run It Back is much more favorable for them getting max match points than it would be for Hardworking Hornets, but that's the kind of thing where you want to put as much of your destiny in your own hands as possible. And needing Hardworking Hornets to drop rounds next week to qualify for playoffs does not feel as good as, you know, winning this one here 4-2 or greater, and then just knowing all we have to do is put away Run It Back, and we're there. We can do that. So, again, super important match for them.
So I think the thing I'm always looking forward to in a match like this is, you know, when you have a new team, like sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. Okay. Or not a new team. I mean, like a team, like, you know, kind of reaching this echelon of the higher invite, like you mentioned, of like playoff contenders, right? So there's almost that moment of truth. And we did see a lot of that in the RGL LAN finals and 6s, but here in Highlander, I think it works the same where, okay, maybe you start the match and things are all going your way. Maybe you start the match and nothing's going your way. But what separates champions from people who are just very good is that level of adaptation, right? Can we take our halftime and rework our strategy here? Can we take a tactical pause and say, listen, let's break down what's working and keep doing more. Let's take what's not working and do less of that, right? If we can see that out of the you know, the players a little more green here in invite, then we have a serious match on our hands.
Yep, and we've been talking about Dreamybull's kitchen, you know, setting the stage for their stakes in this match, but Hardworking Hornets, a lot of them in a very similar situation in terms of their standing in the season. They do have more invite veterans. People like Ray Pickles have been in this league for a long time. Kira included, AGB ringing on heavy, but that's neither here nor there. There's a couple players that are a bit newer to invite. You know, they have not had the similar of success as some of their teammates. But again, just getting into that you know, big dance, the playoffs of invite. You know you're at the top tier. You give yourself a chance to get in the medals and the prize money, which is a big part of the game right now. You can just, even getting a little bit back for your efforts just feels very nice and makes you feel like you want to keep doing it. So that's definitely on the line for Hardworking Hornets as well. I don't know if I'd call them overwhelming favorites in this match, but I do think that they should be favored at least a little bit. I can give my prediction here. Well, we probably have some open and running. And I think Hardworking Hornets are going to take this one, but I think it's going to be a 4-2 or 4-3. I feel like Dreamybull's kitchen is going to do more, going to make this competitive. But at the end of the day, I got to go with the tenure.
I'll agree. And yeah, I'm glad you segued that one, where just my gut instinct is that, yeah, same here. Hardworking Hornets, I think, kind of have that, you know, veteran savvy and players that are strong on Koth. I think they're not unbreakable here, but like I think they will squeeze out the win, you know, in a kind of longer match this evening. And not only that, I'm actually eyeing a little side project here from Braun. Shout out to Braun. What's going on, buddy? Who like put together basically like a machine learning predictor for which team will come out with the win. And based on all of the recent performance on their Koth scrims and everything like that, honestly, these teams are pretty much neck and neck, like very slightly favored, like marginally 4-3 in favor of the Hardworking Hornets. But basically all it's saying is that it won't be a roll. So, you know, stats wise, and, you know, with these teams putting in the practice they have, it looks like we, have a very even start to this match at the very least.
Yeah, that said, if those predictors ended up working, sports betting would be a dead industry. So, you know, there's always variables that can happen. Who knows? Maybe Dreamybull's kitchen comes out here way stronger than anyone expected. I've seen some of their members in chat showing the opposite. I saw an 0-4 prediction from, I believe it was Crump, the demo man of Dreamybull's kitchen. Hey, if your demo man is not confident on a Koth map, then maybe that 0-4 comes true. Remember, prophecies self-fulfill themselves, so... maybe show a bit of confidence. You guys, they can be competitive. I do think this match is going to have some rounds traded back and forth.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I don't even know what you call that. Like, just for the job you want, not the job you have. Like, your man's rocking up in the 4-0 suit. No, I love it. And it's so, I love this game. Yeah, like, everyone's just talking shit in their own chat for their own match and all that. But yeah, we're looking to get the last of our players here in the server. Should be starting before too long. And, you know, quite a press. The presses are real hot coming out of this one. Here on our screen. It's never a dull moment here on the TF2 maps. You got to appreciate all the little fun stuff. It's like, do you remember when that one time Valve waited like 8 years and then added snakes to snake water just for fun? What a time to be alive.
You know that there was just like one guy in the TF2 team who wanted to do that really badly and finally got around to it. Maybe they could do the same thing, but with a major content update. That'd be pretty cool, I think.
What if we added snakes to the whole game, but instead of snakes, it was, you know, items and class balances and maps and whatnot?
One can be snake themed.
It could be epic.
That'll convince them. Yeah, we do have 17 in the server, just waiting a bit for that final ready up to come through. And as always, Dolphin is exploring the maps. I look at my monitor. There's just my second monitor where I have the stream up, and there's just a different thing all the time that Dolphin is pointing at. I'm sure he has as much fun as that as anyone, but yeah, we've said our piece. We are currently 20 minutes after, so this is 5 minutes later than usual. I think we did well, you know, with our lead-in. So at this point, it's just the team's fault.
Yeah, we got here on time. I'm wearing the 5-0 suit. I'm here going for my own win and my personal goals, achieving everything I set my mind to. But with that being said, the players have finally decided it's time.
Nope, still not enough players. Brian's in spec, so re-exec. Okay.
Whoops.
He must have been in the bathroom. Okay, now the real ready up is coming through. Brian is joined up on the team, and we're gonna be getting going here. Dreamybull's Kitchen on blue side, Hardworking Hornets on red. We'll see how things go as first mid about to kick off.
Demo's flying forward, both meeting up at about the same time, taking a little different rollout, but the map's only so big. Yate looking for those longer snipes, and we're kind of a little bit farther forward for the Hardworking Hornets, taking more presence on the point, but the spy decloak on bats here will do a lot of work. But if I'm right, we actually have an 8v9 here. Please pause.
Yeah, someone got removed, I guess disconnected off the rip. It is an 8v9, and they're going to play mid out. I guess they may not have realized their player disconnected, what with Highlander comms being chaotic, and it looks like the team with 9 players, surprise, surprise, is coming out ahead for now. Deleted Taters clean up off the point right now. Numbers advantage in favor of the Hornets, going to be able to take the point and cap it up. Brian has rejoined the team after mid, so it's now a 9v9, but I don't think they noticed, so they're not actually going to end up replaying it, but that is just going to be mid in favor of Hornets.
Now, you know, it's kind of the perfect crime, right? It's like, oh, well, we only lost mid because we were down a player. It's not us. Surely it's not us. But not only that, they actually have Ray on full advantage, and Arbiter's really ringing out his headshots. Crump being the Devil Man going down. It's going to take away that sack, but wait a second. Ryan going down gives Arbiter free reign.
Yeah, and Arbiter doubles up once again on a 3K right now is the Hardworking Hornet Sniper, just standing on the point, being one of the furthest forward members of his team. And Ray on full Uber. Like you said, that stack got shut down before it got started here, so it looks like Nine's just going to charge that Uber. Outside of spawn, Dreamybull's Kitchen going to prepare for their first, I guess, real fight of the match, 9v9 on fair ground. We'll see what they can do. Pupper does have a pretty good decloak here. Maybe looking in for anything he can find. Just going to eye around the side for now. In the meantime, Combo looking to walk up as Nines gets Uber.
No, they're really taking a lot of death by 1,000 cuts on the spam on the low ground, but they actually get all the way to the point before using Kira and Ray. Managed to grab Nines. Kira just spikes the medic, and there you go. That's why we, you know, don't milk. Lactose intolerant.
The awful part of that is that they actually got the sniper pick there. Pupper found the stab onto Arbiter, so there was no need to be worried about a sniper. Just pop Uber the second you're taking damage, but instead Nines just did not pop in time, just ate the pipes, ended up going down. So Dreamybull's Kitchen, their first real walkout is a total disaster as they are still held on that big donut, not able to cap so far. Uber adds still in favor of Hardworking Hornets, and this round is not looking close at all.
This is like that moment of truth, right? That spells almost disaster that I mentioned earlier, right? Like, you know, if you miss your sniper at mid, and then now you're dropping your medic in a very even Uber. This is where the mental will be the difference maker in this match.
Yep, headshot coming down from Arbiter onto that Pyro, just numbers advantages, but there's Brian, headshot onto Ray, taking down that enemy medic. This should be the first cap of the round for Dreamybull. At this point, they have numbers, they have Uber ad, and not popping here is crucial. There are going to be a couple players sacking forward here, but not enough HP to really get too far. They will get a big flank from under, though. That Heavy doing so much work underneath. AGB, that flank gets two, and there's Panther coming in over the top. Heavy clears the way, Soldier cleans it up, gets the kill onto the medic.
Yeah, my heart weeped as that sack kind of came in a little bit too late, but Arbiter being the difference maker, locking down that long sightline from the waterfall in the upper area. That, I think, gave the team like the kind of pressure they needed, making sure the enemies were never too comfortable.
Of course, it's the spy main ringing Heavy to come up from underneath and turn that fight in his team's favor, but spawn advantage still in favor of Dreamybull's Kitchen. They will end up getting that first capture, but with 2:45 cleared off the clock, it is not looking positive for them, especially with this Uber advantage from Ray. Brian will win an SBS, so we'll be able to stand on the point for a bit, but, you know, all Hardworking Hornets need to do to close up this round is get this Uber and pop it forward.
80%, it's always funny, yeah, you can tell from the body language that Ray knows that there's an ad on the side of the Hornets, so it's like, come on, let's just use, but yeah, having to go all the way back, build up that Uber for the last 20 seconds, but now, Kira moving forward, working with
90% on nines. Dreamybull's Kitchen can keep players up, they can recontest with this, but they've already dropped both pick classes and they're heavy. That one hurts. Uber's going to pop off on both sides. A much better Uber for the side of Dreamybull, but they're not getting the kills they need. They're going to funnel in onto the point and they get shredded. Crump gets stabbed, Applezoo sniped. Pick class is doing all the work as the cap comes in. It's only 3 players left on the side of Dreamybull, and they have nothing left to say in this round.
The win condition there was to use the Uber first and kill the medic with it. They even had their spy behind, but yeah, it's tough when they use like so late. The Ubers ended up being even, but you know, what a great post, right? Having the team kind of play off each other and collapse basically with those pick classes, you know, getting an inch and taking a mile, making those kills waterfall just like the edges of the map here.
All right, that's round 1 set and done. Let's hope Dreamybull's Kitchen plays 99 from the start here, as they're going to roll up to their second mid. If that happened to you last time when you play 8v9, you're just like, okay guys, the match is starting now. What do you mean we're down 0-1? Just play it out. Early bomb from Applezoo going onto bats, immediately reflected though. Just going to be a nuisance a bit behind right now, but no damage dealt quite yet. Demoman trying to walk up, but there is Brian getting an opening kill onto the spy, and they are finding more kills coming in. AGB gets taken down, so does Arbiter, grinding that SDS, and there you go. You play 9v9, your sniper's there, you get 2 kills, you win the mid.
Applezoo here on borrowed time. It's like, I don't think it's safe to leave, but no one has killed me yet, and just survived behind enemy lines for a very good while, and does manage to survive for it. So, Uber advantage in favor of Ray, but points in favor of Dreamybull's Kitchen.
Yeah, the death on 9s there just feels really bad. At this point, Ray gonna have to charge up that Uber, get their team running forward. Hornets knows they have this ad. They're just gonna swarm onto the point from all sides. Applezoo does have the opposing cave right now, but taken very low. Will jump out. Oh, Crater's on the platform, but Ray's dead! Ryan, with the shot, drops the enemy medic on the walk-up, and now Chaos reigns forward for the side of Hornets. They're going to try to jump forward onto the medic here. 9's taking a half HP, put into the Wrangler, but it's fine. Look at Clore, they're looking for the stab. Oh, if Clore just took the revolver out, that was a 2-shot. You got to go for those when you have the shot for them. We'll get the sniper instead, buy some time, but this Uber is building for 9's.
Yeah, there's players down on the side of Dreamybull's Kitchen, but they're managing to basically play off their heals, right? The medic does get forced. Okay, 9-6 Uber on the point, but they try to contest that point as long as they could. Engineer Uber coming in and getting a pick. Very nice engineer on engineer. And now, actually, Crump being a very late death as soon as they capture the point means that...
Yeah, Clore's a great decloak onto Tater's jump step, but can't quite find it before the knife gets melted, and that will be no pick, but they will get the capture. Hardworking Hornets getting on the board in this round. And here's AGB doing his underneath flank, does clean up Taters, but it will be the bulk of the force getting out for Hornets. 9's going underneath. 9's is alone. Someone should group up with their medic. Where's 9's running to? 9's is not charging right now. Somebody? Alright, they'll finally start charging again, but Ray is on that full Uber. 50% disad for Dreamybull's Kitchen. They are going to walk forward, hope to force this Uber and get players out alive, and they do get it forced. Wait, no one went with 9's. Oh, but Yate didn't see him. If Yate just turned left, Yate had a free med pick.
I mean, I'm sure you could speak to this just as even better than I can, but of course the win condition when you have ad is having your spy be behind the medic, make sure that exiting is not an option for them, right? But instead the Floor was like a very late deep look on the wrong half of the map, so yeah, that ad push did not get anything at all.
Oh, AGB gets the flank underneath again, shredding onto Nines, half the HP done, but gets seen just in time. Good surf from those bullets, gets the medic out to safety, and a couple more kills coming in favor of Dreamybull's Kitchen, gets them the recap, still maintaining their lead and their Uber at in this round. Things looking pretty decent, but they are going to lose a couple on the back out, so big numbers advantage temporarily for the side of Hornets. We'll see if they can get this Uber force. Cleaver hits Nines. Anyone's following up on that damage? Oh, Arbiter's gets a snipe on the Spaghetti. There's so much damage coming down with these players already. Thor?
Yeah, they're so balled up over here. Yeah, Thor does go in for it, but like they're so passive, even though they have advantage, that they've given up half the point gap so far. Kira and Yate are still full HP. Uber comes in now, but Ray's on 95%.
Yeah, good kite out from the side of Hardworking Hornets. They did lose their sniper in the SDS. They have to be careful about Brian on their entry. I knew it! That's the second straight drop on the Uber rocket for Ray. These are old Cascade sightlines. You cannot disrespect them.
Only 5 up on the side of the Hardworking Hornets. Floor going in for a quick pick onto Brian. Okay, that's a great one to let your team back in, especially with the spawn timers being what they are. And actually, point is still very capped, so Nate either getting a little bit greedy, trying to see, like, can I get a little extra for free?
Yep, and with Brian dead, that's at least something. So Arbiter gonna get the engineer pick again, but the engineer pick is only so useful as it's been shown so far. They will get a cleanup onto Snowy with that revolver, and finally, Hardworking Hornets get their second cap of the round, but down a minute and a half on the clock. They're fighting an uphill battle, especially with this 50% Uber ad still on Nines.
And Nines, it's so far away. It's always really tough, like, coming in from the low ground on a push like this. Like, yes, you have your whole team grouped up. Yes, you're buffed, but you don't have any of that map control, right? Snowy goes in, takes a ton of damage for it. Crump has to jump all the way in. Finally, they're taking contact on the enemy team, but the Uber's halfway over already.
Getting Kira, though, is exactly what they need. Remember, they're at a huge time lead, so all they have to do is stall this walk-up. Ray will get Uber. Recap not coming in. They're slow from the point. Ray's 90% getting boned by the soldier, and there is Applezoo. He can't get the medic. Oh, Ray barely lives by the skin of their teeth. The cap's still not in yet. Spawns in favor of Hardworking Hornets. They are going to defend this point for now, and they get the Uber in time. They're going to pop it out and block. It's just the scout and the medic, though. Kira getting back in time from the previous death. So is Arbiter. We'll see what these 4 players can do against the onslaught of players from Dreamybull. They're going to get the kill onto Yates. Spaghetti will jump out the window, make some space, but die. This should be the recap coming in for the Dreamybull's Kitchen.
Oh, a quick snipe. Wait, wow. Brian, a headshot and a body shot onto Kira. Takes him out really quick.
Oh.
And the point does go down.
No demo, man.
Oh, wait, Brian, nice surfing in the skybox. Full Uber ad coming up on Nines.
Oh, come
on! Big bomb onto
That's
wait,
3 drops.
World.
That's 3 drops to Sniper in 1 round. Team's really not used to this old Cascade at this point, as almost no one can get these medics to point safely. There is going to be spawners for the side of Hardworking Hornets. They're going to try to flood this point. Applezoo gets really good position up top, but kisses the enemy soldier and going to lose that one out. Panther now going to be able to walk forward, do some damage. Spaghetti has to go underneath. Brian will get stabbed by Court in the meantime, and they have gotten the point successfully. 40 seconds left. It's 80% Uber on Ray. All of a sudden, Hardworking Hornets can win this one out.
And on this time, there's just enough basically for the opposing team to charge their way forward. Kira and AGB scouting out basically what kind of doorways people want to make their way through, but Ray should be looking to take the super in very quickly.
As long as Ray doesn't drop to Brian here, this round should be in the bag. As
all
they
the
are
players
going to
looking
lose
to
4 immediately. That's fine, though. It's only a spy. We're going to get popped out early. Nice early. They're going to get Crump and Brian, and that should be the end of the round. No demo, no sniper. How are you going to get any kills in this post? Tater's going to go down as well, and despite the double drop, Hardworking Hornets going to hold this one. It's just these 4 classes trying to flood onto it, but they're just going straight into the fish barrel. Tons of damage being dealt onto them. It's just the scout, and that's going to... Oh my god, Crump got destroyed on his jump in. But yeah, that's going to be the round. 2-0 for Hardworking Hornets. Not in the way you'd expect, but it is that perfect start.
You're really well played. Honestly, like, I think Ray was such a massive difference maker in those actually last 2 Ubers. This one we just saw here at the end. There's kind of a thing in overtime where it's like having a bad Uber is still winning, I think, because they had the Hardworking Hornets had so much space and like there wasn't enough time for Nines to get. So Ray deciding it's not a great time to use, but let's use it 20 seconds left anyway. That was a round winning play for sure. And I also love the solo scout Uber when, you know, they were in like a 5v7 or 5v8 just to stall time off the clock. That 20 seconds also won them the round because this way Nines didn't have enough at the last second to get that final Uber. So really well played out of the medics being difference makers here on Koth.
Is every one of Ray's deaths a drop? 3 deaths in the half. It's at least 2 of them, right? I'm not sure about the third one, don't remember it. But yeah, there's Arbiter, like you're saying, can take over any pug and take it over on Cascade as well. 21 and 6. Brian has the quality kills right now, but Arbiter is putting in the quality and then some with some quantity.
I'm Yate here too, who I mentioned did work in those Ubers, but getting the second most frags on the server at 16 over RJ BNR's 5. So I think Yate here is doing a really solid job of like kind of just holding it down. It's one of those stat lines you think like, oh, our Scout seems to be doing like well, but you know, putting up over 400 DPM on Scout is super impressive out of him. So yeah, another big reason why it's like feeling so hard, I think, for Dreamybull's Kitchen to kind of make progress towards the point.
Yeah, and obviously I've been watching the spy gameplay. That's what I'm, what I came here for is the spy gameplay. Pupper's been having a rough game. I'm watching Pupper get cheesed over and over trying to go around the house. Whenever there's downtime, Hardworking Hornets will run backwards and just hunt him. And it's a really smart thing to do because what else are you going to do besides get that spy out of your backline during downtime? If you're Pupper here, you have to change something because sitting behind them and waiting for Cloak isn't really working when your team can't consistently get pressure. They're being pressured by Arbiter too hard. They're getting pressured by Yate too hard on the front lines. If your team can't get space, you have to fight with them. You have to help them make some space.
Yeah, I'm looking like, I mean, it is great, I think, seeing that Brian is still on, you know. I think sometimes the stats get, what's the word? Like misconstrued in the way that, you know, you look at the sniper getting, what was the stat line here? Yeah, Brian getting like almost half of Arbiter's kills, right? And you think like, oh, well, it's hard to win that way. But I kind of go the other direction where Brian going positive and clearly top fragging for the team is hard to do even in, 0-2 half. So basically Brian has kind of what it takes to wake up into this next round. I think Crump as well, yeah, is putting up basically even damage with Kira. So, you know, if Crump can show up a couple of those deaths, Brian can hold down basically that same amount of frags that he's been getting. It feels like Dreamybull's Kitchen has the pieces they need to get more rounds here.
I'm glad you point out deaths because that's another thing I was going to mention is Kira's only 5 deaths while Crump is 12. Yes, the DPM is close to equal, but the Demo Man being alive is such a different game than the Demo Man being dead. Because when the Demo Man is dead, no sticky spam to worry about, no traps to have to clear, no pipes to have to dodge, your pyro can spy check instead of reflect. There's just so many things that open up when the enemy team doesn't have their biggest DPM threat. So yeah, Crump does need to show up some of these deaths. I'm sure many of them are to Arbiter, right? And that's just Demo Men walking into sightline trying to make space. Sure, that happens, but just if you're even DPM while dying more than twice as many times as enemy Demo, imagine what you can do this game if you just die a little bit less.
Amen. I'll lend a nod to Applezoo as well, who I think has that understanding of the game that like Arbiter probably will go nuts on this map. So kind of like playing to counter Arbiter as much as possible is, yeah, Applezoo's the name of the game. So actually going positive on Soldier on a map like this when you're playing to counter a sniper, I think is very impressive. But again, like kind of holding on to that initiative, right? And say like, you know, Applezoo we saw kind of going behind on mids, trying to find Arbiter and silence him when he can. Yeah, if we keep seeing that out of Applezoo, at least make the game really hard for Arbiter, or make the team commit more resources to protect Arbiter. Either of those are really valuable moving forward.
I saw a chat that said these pyros have to use the detonator, and yes, their DPM is low. It's also Cascade, kind of hard to do much without the detonator, but that got me thinking, Sarah should just be running the detonator and spamming it at Arbiter. It's so hard to play sniper and enemy pyros doing that. Those who played in the scorch shot meta will remember that. That was even worse because that thing knocked you back, but you can really stall out a sniper quite a lot with the detonator, just make it harder for him to play the game. Anything that they can do to make it harder for Arbiter play would help a lot for Dreamybull's Kitchen right now.
And this, listen, chat, it's been a long week. This threatening aura is all you deserve, okay? You gotta just enjoy this visual we got for you on screen. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm really curious what the comms are like here for the side of Dreamybull's Kitchen, because it's like, are you gonna shake off those drops, those missing sniper at mid fights, those like failed pushes, the uphill battle coming in against these Ubers where it's like you have 8 players on your own low ground trying to start off an Uber, right? I think those things are manageable, but I think having the right conversation to address it is something that's unbelievably difficult. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think their comms are like still clear and focused, or do you think they're at each other's throats here, Zag?
I mean, obviously they're not at each other's throats. I'm gonna go a bit of a different direction with this. I think we saw more like unprecedented disaster happen for Hardworking Hornets that round. The back-to-back drop in the second round into still winning it is it's so unlikely. Whenever you're playing comp and your momentum gets absolutely stalled out for 2.5 minutes straight, being able to come back from that and win shows superiority from like a very baseline level on the map, where you are just the better team on the map. And if any of these things don't happen for the enemy team to get these like advantages, it feels like it's going to be even more one-sided. So honestly, at this point, I'd say Hardworking Hornets pretty much have this one in the bag. As we are going to get into the second half here, right off the bat, Brian does open up onto Arbiter, but Appleseed just gets denied. I like the adaptation from AGB going straight into the window up top, and he's going to make some pressure. Kira and Yet get some cleanup, and they should be favored in this mid, but it is a 6v6. We'll see what they can do with the remaining players, Dreamybull.
I saw 3 of the players on the Hardworking Hornets walk forward. They saw Brian, all 3 walk right back. That's he put the fear of God in him. Wait, Spaghetti walking forward on 3 HP. What a champion. What a stallion. Oh wait, it's still spamming Yate. Oh, nailing the pick there, and yeah, wait, even Spaghetti's Sentry getting the clear.
Arbiter has such a cheesy spot. He is going to fall off of that railing, though. Going to go onto low ground. Mid-fight's still going. Both teams getting their respawns and running it back. Uber up for the side of Ray, though, as Nines did unfortunately lose their life. It is going to be the Pyro Uber. Jumping forward is Cham, making some space. Going to get some flash onto the Domain as well. And they will trade that Uber for the point capture. Looks like they are going to get the first cap. But some Rikatas coming in. They are getting a Spidey Cloak. They pick off Arbiter. More players flooding the point, and there is Brian uncontested, picking up some kills.
Oh, Nines goes down to 80%. That's another pipe kill from Kira. He's got the magnets in him. Right now, yeah, Ceres goes down on the point here to these stickies, and yeah, Kira managing that wild pipe into Nines is going to seal the deal here. The Dreamybull's kitchen players don't have enough of that regeneration to win a fight over time.
Yeah, and that just feels so bad for Dreamybull. At that point, you actually made a good play, recontesting the point, but losing your medic to that pipe stalls all your momentum once again. So now they're going to be running this one back onto the point, but Ray, 95% already. They're running into another brick wall. We'll see. It looks like they want to go the second they get it. Ray walking up forward with Kira, and there comes the pop. Seeing what frags they can get, instantly just nukes Nines off the map.
Wow, the actual winner there was Panther, who was in Waterfall, like the other team's Waterfall, basically, was spamming them out. So 5 players turned and spammed Panther back. Panther dies for it, sure, but that let Kira and Yate close the distance unbelievably well. Like, they took that Uber straight in their face because of Panther drawing the fire away.
And speaking of Yate, on a 7k, hit the taunt at the end of that chain of kills. Brian will get an opener onto Kira, though. That Devilman being down will help them walk up quite easily. Even though no Ubers for either side, they should be able to get forward, and a big deny from Taters onto Panther. No explosives means they gotta leave. So it will be the first cap of the round for Dreamybull's kitchen, but again, they find themselves in another big hole.
And personally, especially on this map of Cascade where there's so much high ground near the enemy spawn, I actually think forward holds are like, at least getting people in weird positions is very good here. Right now they're opting more to play Brian around this point and kind of like basically have your
Apple's
sniper
got
peek.
Skybox. Can he get out?
Oh, not sure. Almost.
That looked really funny. His ragdoll's just sitting there on the point, but they will be down their soldier immediately, and here comes the Uber just straight up, but it's gonna be the Spy getting the backstab in the end, killing the Dom, but Yate gets 2 more. Yate's gonna go on a 10k before anything else happens, jumping on top of Brian's head. Oh, he gets shut down, no 10k. The 97% death from Nines hurt. Nines has died at 80% and at 97%. Things have not been going well for Dreamybull's kitchen at all this round.
Yeah, Pickle's going down at the last second here too. Right now, actually, Panther working their way through, and Arbiter getting a snipe onto Brian. This opens this push wide open. Kira here just taking a bit of spam, Cham taking a bit of spam here on point. Yate, you know, kind of playing forward, not really letting them in, but we got to make sure that we give Ray this Uber if you're the Hardworking Hornets.
Yeah, up on 70%. They might just end up giving the point up, but they are going to fight some players for it. They have a lot of good pressure from AGB here, but with Brian winning that SVS, is going to get a bit difficult. A lot of damage coming onto this heavy, but they are going to turn in time for the spy. Yate gets out alive, but Applezoo doing some more from lower. They are going to get cleanup though, so despite all this HP that they're losing, they're getting the kills. AGB now walking forward, the rest of the team going to come with them. More kills coming in favor of the side of Hornets. They're going to get a 2K. Panther gets Crump and Nines, and this one is just one-sided. We are going to go into a pause, but Hardworking Hornets basically get a full ace.
For everyone back home, don't forget the pauses here are 90 seconds in the future, so they didn't pause right here, but whatever happens in 90 seconds of like game time from now is when the pause actually comes
I'd be willing
through.
to bet it's tactical, because if you think about it, Hardworking Hornets, when they cap, have like 120 left coming out, and if you count the round in time, that's about 90 seconds. So it's probably attack for Dreamybull going into the last round. Dolphin, any confirmation? It is a Dreamybull pause. He said he doesn't know if it's attack or attack. They did have some connection problems with Brian at the start, so could be that, but honestly, if it is the attack at 03, that's fine. You should do that, especially when even getting a couple rounds here. Getting 2 rounds makes it a lot easier for you to sneak into playoffs with a sweep over, run it back, and hoping Hardworking Hornets drops like 1 in the next week. So do what you can, but yeah, things are not looking good.
I really want to shout out the play actually from AGB here in that last play while we have a couple seconds, and I'm still fawning over it just because when you mentioned like, they could opt to give up the point, or like, they really don't want to die for it, but AGB stayed so well postured, basically very close to the point, so that meant everyone who tried pressuring point got kind of shredded by the heavy, but AGB never actually went down until the Uber started. So the long story short is that Uber from Ray would have been winning and they would have gotten 3 picks with it, but because of AGB's play, instead they got 6 picks with that Uber. AGB just like really shredding those players and making it so they had to fight hard for that point. So it's differences like these, like we mentioned, of like, what does Veteran Savvy do for you in the server, and like what kind of opportunities does it create? I think winning an Uber as hard as that came just from AGB's play alone in that Uber fight.
Yeah, and the entirety of Hardworking Hornets just playing so well, and even though before this pause happened, it's technically like a minute 35 to a minute 15, and it's technically close, this feels like the most one-sided round so far in terms of Hardworking Hornets just being the better team. Because remember, they did have those disasters happen to them in round 2, and they still managed to come out ahead. So the fact that they're just winning fight after fight, it feels like this is just par for the course. Now, granted, Dreamybull's Kitchen have had many bad situations where their medic has died at high percentage. A lot of these deaths, the 2 I remember right now are the one where they walked up when they're trying to recontest point off the remid fight, and the most recent one was right here when they tried walking up to recontest, and their med got backstabbed. Both of these times, you're kind of counting your chickens before you're hatching, where you're saying we're going to walk up on Cascade for free and get our last 5-10%. That's not how it works. Teams used to stage on the concrete area because there's a big wood wall that prevents you from taking damage from the point when you're there. Walking up through main or through cliffside is just asking to get spammed, decloaked on, angled by scout, jumping over the top of the wood, bombed by a soldier, pinning you into a corner. It feels so rough to do. And if you're not getting space, then you can't just say this space is ours. You have to take it. You have to make space. And that's just something that Dreamybull's Kitchen has not been able to do pretty much the entire time, this map.
Yeah, there's exactly along those lines, there's a principle I always like to kind of instill when I'm mentoring and doing demo reviews and looking at a match like this. Basically, it's to say, don't help the enemy team do what they already wanted to do. So, for example, if you're trying to push back in with your medic into the point like that you don't have, if you have a whole bunch of players balled up around your medic on the low ground, you're going to take damage. So everyone should come in from the high ground, come in from flanks, come in from everywhere but your medic's location as we enter back in. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of something that we've seen out of Dreamybull's Kitchen of like, hey, let's all group up on the low ground and push at the same time so we all take the same sticky bomb damage for 400 damage each,
Yeah, they're going to try and get this one back with the last minute on the clock, but remember, we do have kind of light spoilers on how this one ends up going. AGB gonna get that kill on Taters, and here comes people pop forward. Brian, the first one dead. Nines is out alive this time, so there's that, but time is just bleeding off the clock.
Yeah, aggressive across the
back.
point here, and Arbiter with a nice shot onto Applezoo here, all the way across basically this long angle towards basically where the enemy comes out of spawn. Panther kind of eyeing the different doorways, trying to see if anyone's getting creative. But here we go, Brian peeking out onto Bats, thinks a little bit better of it, peeks on the other side of Bats, not finding anything yet, but calls the clear walk up for Nines to move forward as we enter another quick pause here.
It might be connection issues at this point, because 2 back-to-back in this short amount of time is not, say does not scream tactical pause, but we will be waiting on this one. At this point, time is ran down to, what was it, 10 seconds for Hardworking Hornets? And yeah, this round's basically done. The last chance, remember how I was just talking about how space has to be earned on this map? You don't just sit in a place and expect them not to come kill you. I mentioned in that previous Uber where Hardworking Hornets popped across the point that Nines did a good job getting out early to concrete. They stayed there, just Nines and the Pyro, and then they got bombed by a soldier. You cannot just sit in space on this map. And yeah, the round unpaused. Arbiter 4K, 5K. Yeah,
and getting Nines in that as well. Yeah, like
yeah,
that was almost your last hope, but all of those together was your only hope. Losing a single player, even not your medic, was like you mentioned, the difference maker.
Yeah, and that's 3-0 for Hornets, one more round, and they get the perfect sweep, and it puts them in premier. If they perfect sweep, I think that qualifies them for playoffs immediately, right? Because they're up in. Yeah, they're up 4 match points right now. If they get 9 here, even if they get 0 next week and Dreamybull gets 9, can't pass them. So this round here is the season, basically. If Hardworking Hornets get this one on the board right now, they are playoff bound.
Well, cheers to that. This explosive mid launching across the point here. Ray taking a ton of damage. Cham taking a nice pick. This is an interesting one, yeah, where like, normally you're playing passive is not how you win mids, but when you back up, clean up all the kills in the back, push forward, and then follow Arbiter to take all the snipes you need. Yeah, that's a great way of, I guess, kind of splitting the enemy, picking your battles, and then working together as a team.
Shout out to Core, pick the sniper, heavy, and then the demo man as well, I believe. Big 3K just wins that mid pretty instantly for the side of Hardworking Hornets, and they're just gonna look to play like normal from here on out. Arbiter just gets an early SVS pick onto Brian. There's that unpause coming through in live time. Okay, like at this point it's not funny, guys. Space is not free on Cascade. Somebody do something about it.
Wait, Crump just jumps into the medic anyway, but misses the medic.
How many points does Core have in this round? Core must have like 10 points in this round off of like 30 seconds.
Yeah, going nuts out here. Kira and Ray working out their way all the way forward. They have this big advantage. They have good time on the point. So if you can like stuff the enemy team and make sure the Post Uber is in the enemy's territory, they have such an uphill battle getting all the way back towards point. They think better of it. I wouldn't if I were me, and I just so happen to be me. So anyway, them playing passive is a little bit of a tougher look, but hey, making a stab is not bad.
The Spy being on a 5K on Koth. We like that one. It is going to be a couple players jumping in, trying to get some cleanup. They will clean up Yate and finally end Core's killing spree with a mini sentry, but still yet to cap it. We're going to come out across the point. Kira looking to do some work, clean up this heavy from lower, and they will get it eventually. Panther going to take that kill, get his revenge on the heavy, but here comes the offense for Dreamybull's Kitchen trying to walk up on the point. They don't have more players right now, but they do have some positioning finally. Gonna try and get onto the point, but they're getting flanked. There's a sniper looking at them. It's just gone. Panther comes from underneath, kills Nines. Nines has died probably 10 times in this half so far. Might be a bit of an exaggeration, but I would not be surprised if it's like 7.
Well, Deleted Taters, honestly, in many of these fights, fighting basically tooth and nail to... Ooh, nice sticky from Kira there at the last second, but... yeah, Deleted Taters working really hard basically to buy their team space, right? So you might think, oh, the heavy's taking too much in DTM, but you eat the enemy's bullets in terms of like, they're not shooting your teammates, and they have to reload afterwards, and they're looking the wrong way for a long time, calling focus fire on you, so it really gives a lot of opportunities to people, even when you're like, quote-unquote, feeding like that.
Arbiter just heating up into the match even more. Explosives destroy everybody. From Spaghetti, Sarah, and Sarah's just all explode in one tick, basically. Nine's dead again to Panther. Panther must have like 5 medic kills in this half. I don't know. This one lost its steam.
Yeah, we really felt a little more, yeah, like just kind of feeling this would be a bit closer. I think we still predicted the Hardworking Hornets here, but like, you know,
somewhere between 4-2 on average. Yeah, like. But this one, like I said, it just lost its steam. The close rounds that Dreamybull's Kitchen should have won, the double drop round comes to mind. not winning that one, like I said during the half, not being able to win that one means you're just outclassed.
And right now they are making this last ditch effort. Wait a second, there's no Ubers on the board. Crump, you're on point.
Okay, but Arbiter's on the board is what's happening.
Whoops. Yeah, Arbiter really laying it down here. Still surviving. Doesn't even have a buff yet and is already sort of just dry peeking, now swimming onto the point. Any pick here is phenomenal for the Hardworking Hornets because of those, 19-second respawn timers plus walking back.
Kira popped up, but gets to safety. The entire force of the Hornets are now swarming the point, as Hornets do, and they're just going to kill everyone that's here. Last couple players, Arbiter gets his 10k, and they get the recap. 2 seconds, it's a solo scout Uber, as they just got, and they're all going to explode. 4-0, clean sweep for the Hornets, and they are playoff bound.
Quick frag there for Nines at the end. You got to let your team know, I got mine. Just getting a nice crossbar into the spy, but hey, really well played out of the Hardworking Hornets, right? Like you mentioned, this is like that kind of not only just being a playoff contender, but this is trying to make a statement in playoffs. If you're playing this well, basically like finding a way into this game round over round, like Arbiter's going nuts, Kira's going nuts, Rogue Runners veterans, both of them kind of leading their charge through this team and doing so well to secure this spot in playoffs.
Yeah, and on the other side, feels bad for Dreamybull's Kitchen. They 5-2 at this point in Invite, nothing to scoff at. They played very well this season, solidified themselves top half at least of the 10 teams, right? But just a bit too shy of making the playoffs. Still, it is a young team, a very new team, and there's a lot to go from here. I like of the only 3 correct score guessers. One of them is the demo man for Dreamybull's Kitchen predicting he gets 0-4'd. That's match fixing.
Wait a second. Oh yeah, going for all these RGL channel points.
Yeah.
But when you said it was Crump calling a 4-0, I thought you meant like for Crump's own team. It was for the other team. Aha. In that case, please do not dress for the job that you want, or don't dress for the job that you don't want. Instead, don't dress for the job you don't not have.
Or don't dress for anything because your season's over. you got one more week. And it is a consolation match. On the bright side for us, right? Playoffs being established. Our playoff teams have been established, right? Duddy Dudes, Somebody Help, Ohio Leaf Village, and Hardworking Hornets are the only teams that have enough points. They are going to be our 4 playoff teams. In some kind of order will be established next week, right? But because that's been established already, and the seeding doesn't matter too much, we might get to do our joke cast next week.
Oh, brilliant. I always love that nail biter, so like I'm really hoping that comes down to all the marbles basically at that last moment. But hey, you can't who doesn't love a good joke cast?
Arbiter is 39-10, 560 DPM. That is a sniper playing on Cascade and hitting everything is what it is.
And 560 DPM is also just so high. Like even when you're not getting those kills with the headshots, like making someone. Okay, if you get a headshot kill on someone, they respawn for 10 seconds, walk back for 5, so that's 15 seconds you buy on the clock. If you hit them for a body shot, they walk back, grab a pack, come back in, ask for a new buff. That's like 8 or 9 seconds that you've bought on the clock anyway. So like you're really like, all this damage equates to almost kills. So like just putting up that damage is phenomenal to see out of Arbiter. And yeah, I can't wait to see what he does moving forward.
Yeah, as I look across these logs, the more I realize that like they really don't matter. It really was just an outclassing on pretty much every front. Yate, 37-18, 420 DPM. Panther, 25 kills, 400 DPM. 25-8 for Kira, nearly 500 DPM. It was just a team that had something to prove, had a reason to win this one 4-0 to secure their playoffs and doing it, It really was just Hardworking Hornets being the better team, and they deservedly are going to be in the playoffs. We'll see more of them later in the season. And yeah, end of the road for Dreamybull's Kitchen. They will still play one more match, but not a bad first season, debuting the team in its entirety in Invite. So, like I said, hopefully they can come back stronger in this one, maybe make a run for playoffs again. But other than that, that's about it for us tonight.
Yeah, cheers to that. Congrats to the Hardworking Hornets. And yeah, cheers to you, Zach, for having me here, and Dolphin as well for always holding it down on production, doing a really great job, threatening chat with different map assets.
Yep, and now it's time to give our plugs. We got RGL merch. If you enjoyed the Philly Land so much, you can check it out. Dolphin, are we still selling it? Yep, one more month, the RGL Philly Land merch is available. If you had a good time or missed it, regardless, you can check this merch out. Support Team Fortress 2. All the proceeds go towards helping RGL fund more events like Philly Land and support the players and teams that love playing this game. So check it out. We got some t-shirts, bags, really cool desk mat, a bunch of designs you can choose from. Again, that's RGL or merch.rgl.gg if you want to check it out. And we also have Master Config Quick Play available, exclamation point Quick Play in the chat if you want to experience some Team Fortress 2 pub in action of olds. Quick Play is available here from Master Config. You can check it out, play on the servers if you like. And I'm not sure how long it's going to be running for, but until we say it's not, you can check it out and play some. This is your cat's dolphin.
Yeah, I guess with that we'll say goodbye, huh?
Yeah, thank you all for joining us. It was a pretty quick match, but it did give us a good idea of where we stand going into the playoffs. So join us next week for the last week of the regular season. Hopefully we'll have an entertaining matchup for you guys, even if it isn't the highest stakes one we've had. But that said, from me, Rogue, and Dolphin behind the camera, thank you all for coming out here, and we'll see you next week.